just drove through where my museum was. I grew up in New Jersey as a young child to very young parents at the age of 18 by the name of Edwina and Kenneth Hudson. Thinking back, having teenage parents was a challenge that I did not realize I was a part of until I became a young adult myself. My grandparents, on my father's side, started out young as well. My grandmother had 8 kids, 4 by the time she was 20 years old, with my dad being the third. Her youngest child, my uncle, and father's little brother, is only 2 years older than me. People would see me with my uncles and think that I was their little sister because we were all so close in age. As for my mother's parents, they had 4 kids, with my mom being the third as well. People back up. Just each side, yes, that's my mother and her sister. Okay? So, sorry. Okay, with my dad being the third child, okay, my mother, so people would see me with my uncles and think that I was their little sister. We were all so close in age. As for my mother's parents, they had a total of 4 kids, with my mom being number 3 as well. I was the first grandchild for both sides of my family, so I was really big. So I was a really big deal back then. Even though I was born up north, I had some roots that stemmed from the south. My mother's mom was born and raised in Mississippi, and my grandfather was born and raised in Panama City, Florida. My father's mother was born and raised here in Georgia until she was the age of 13. She relocated to New York City, and my grandfather, which is my father's father, is actually a New Yorker. I was also lucky to have great-grandparents up until the age of 33. My parents were married for 13 years of my life. Unfortunately, my mom grew up and matured while my father chose to be a gangster, a pimp, and stuck in success. While my mom attended college, working hard, and took care of me, my father was in and out of prison. With my dad being in and out of my life due to incarceration, I was fortunate to have a grandfather and grandfathers rather to fill that void of being daddy. After my mother divorced, she went to Italy with friends for a vacation. When she returned, she announced that she was taking me and moving to Italy within a year. Our family couldn't believe it until she made all the necessary steps towards moving abroad. At that time, I just could not believe it. I started to begin to believe it because I started high school, and she came to the school and changed my schedule from taking Spanish class to Italian class. I thought to myself, if I failed this class, then maybe we will not move. But obviously that did not work. We were in full effect to Italy. She sold everything. I cried the entire flight to Rome. I was 14 years of age and scared for my mom and myself to leave our family, friends, and network to go to a country that spoke Italian first, French, and then English. I was amazed during our cab ride to our home, which was a pensione in Italy. I was happy to be with her away, but I was also homesick all at once. It was an amazing experience. Unfortunately, I was too young to realize how privileged I was at the time. My mom met my stepdad, Paula, and returned to the United States. As for my dad, he finally grew up and remarried to my stepmother, Gladys. So now here I am, the only child of my mother and father, with 2 new extensions to my life. I was attending gymnastics and dance class. I also ran track for my high school, which I really enjoyed, and was very good at it. I let it all fall by the wayside to hang out with friends, cut school, acting out in negative ways, to gain attention from my parents. My family wasn't having, so that phase basically didn't last long. I got my act together, I graduated high school, I enrolled in college part-time, and I started working in New York City. I thought I was living the life. At the age of 19, I got my first apartment in Upper Montclair, New Jersey. At that time, I met the love of my life, Robert Hurley. We were so young, and because of our immaturity, our boyfriend and girlfriend relationship didn't last long. So we decided to be friends. Over a period of 12 years, we kept in touch. But because of our mutual friends, we found each other and promised to never lose touch again, and that we did. Robert, by this time, was no longer living in Brooklyn. He relocated to Atlanta, but his family still resided in New York, New Jersey. So when he would come to visit, we would use that time to catch up and to catch up on past experience and our parenthood. We now had a little while and beyond. I was satisfied as long as we continued to keep in touch. But unbeknownst to me, Robert shared that he was not happy when it was time to leave home. A year later, I arrived in Georgia, Valentine's Day 2004. And I was so happy to look forward to settling into my new home. Although I was tired from the long commute, Robert insisted that we go out to dinner. And this is when he popped the question. 2006, that is the year that was big for me and my family. We received a bundle of joy by the name of Ty, and family and friends joined Robert and I in celebrating our lovely Sunset Beach wedding on an island of New York. I look back on my journey of my life thus far, and I appreciate and thank God for my family and friends. I look forward to my continued growth in life and in remaining young and friends. Thank you.
I want to remind everyone again to complete your ballot and pass it to the left. I also have an announcement. If you're interested in signing up for roles in one of our future meetings, you can sign up here on the sign-up sheet after the meeting.